So in this video, I'm going to talk about some of the most common website mistakes that I see companies making all the time. Obviously, as a professional marketer, I've audited hundreds, if not thousands of websites over the last 15 years or so. And I've seen some really good ones and some terrible ones and everything in between. But I think the things that I'm going to go through in this video are 6 or 7 of the main issues and mistakes that just crop up time and time again. So hopefully once you've watched this video, you can go through your own website if you've owned a business and just make sure that you're not making any of these mistakes. If you are, then you can correct them. So jumping straight in, mistake number 1, which is probably for me the most important one, is not having a really clear call to action on your website that you optimize towards. So often websites will have 2, 3, 4 call to actions. One of them doesn't necessarily really clearly take priority over all the others. So think of your website as a lead generation tool. It's there essentially to drive business, to drive growth and revenue and get you customers. So just think about it as simple as this. When people come onto your website, if they're the right kind of people that you want as customers, they're your target audience, what do you want them to do? So obviously, if you're an e-commerce company and you sell products on your website, you want them to buy, but a little bit more specific, what are your best selling products with the biggest margins? What are the products that you want them to buy over the others if you have more than one product? And then the call to action everything on the site should drive them towards selling those products to them, making those products as appealing as possible and getting them to buy. If you're not doing e-commerce, if you're a consultant, if you want to kind of book meetings with people, then everything again on your website should be focused on driving people towards the form that you want them to fill in, which should be your main call to action. So the great thing is once you've got one single main call to action that is your absolute priority for the website, you can just relentlessly optimize towards that. So in GA4 Google Analytics, you set that main call to action on your site as your goal, your main goal, an objective in Google Analytics, and you just optimize towards that figure. So in Google Analytics, you have a look at the amount of website traffic in a week or a month, and then the number of conversions on your main call to action on the site. What is the percentage? If it's 5%, the next month you want to get that to 7, 8, 9%. If you manage to do that, every single change, every development that you make on the website, each week, each month, it should all be towards increasing that conversion on your main call to action. If you change stuff and it doesn't do that, it's fundamentally a little bit of a waste of a time. A website isn't there to look amazing or to tell the world how great you are. A website's goal should be to have a really strong call to action that's really important for your business and the growth of your business, and you get as many people to convert on that call to action as possible. So have a clear call to action. That's probably the most important mistake and the most important point that you can take away from this video. Having said that, number 2 would be, for many companies, using stock photos. This drives me nuts. So in the age of AI, it's becoming even more important to really humanize your business. So you have to show the people behind your business. You have to show yourself if you're the owner or the CEO or the MD or the founder, but you have to show your employees, your offices, your premises if you have one, and customers as well. So, invest in time to take really good quality photos of yourself and your employees. And also, if you can take photos of customers coming to your premises and you helping them and doing whatever you do, providing the product or service that you provide to them. If you go out and about and nice locations with customers, get some video, get some photos professionally done to put on your website so people can see you in action. Having stock photos more than ever now is a terrible mistake that you can make on your website, because people when they go onto websites now more than ever are looking for signs that everything hasn't just been generated and done by AI. They want to see that there's real humans, and they want to get to know those humans behind the company. So please don't use stock photos on your website. Replace them with proper humanized personalized photos of you and your employees in action. That would be the second thing. Third thing would be talking about yourself and your company more than your customer. Flip that round. When your potential customers come on your website, it's for them. They need to kind of see that you understand them, that you care about them, and they want to know how they're going to benefit from potentially working with you or becoming one of your customers. So, you know, if you have a website where you're just talking a lot about yourself and your experience and what you do, flip that around and start talking about your customers. And, you know, just put yourself in your shoes. If you were someone coming on your website who was thinking of using your products or service, what are you looking for? What are you stressing about? What are your pain points? You know, what things are you worrying about? What's keeping you up at night? And make sure that the content that you put on there is designed to make your potential customers feel a little bit better about being able to solve this problem quickly, and then obviously position yourself as the best person to help them to solve those problems, eradicate those pain points. So again, focus on making everything about your site for the customer and not yourself, so that they have a brilliant user experience. That would be the next thing. Next point, next mistake would be not optimizing your site really well for mobile. So, you know, these days, there are some outliers, there are some unusual companies where this wouldn't be the case, but for most companies, probably 90 or 95%, then more than 50% of your traffic now is going to come from mobile. So your site has to look and perform brilliantly on mobile. It's more important than desktop because more people are probably viewing it on their smartphone. So it's incredible. Even in the last week, I've seen 3 or 4 websites that are not properly optimized for mobile, and it will be killing the business for some people. Like, some potential customers will just spend probably a minute or 2 on the site. The text isn't displaying properly. They can't read text because it's too small, too big. It's all over the place. They'll just give up. They'll just look for one of your competitors. So, you know, if you haven't done this lately, make sure that you thoroughly check every single page that's visible to people of your website on your phone. Get another couple of people to do it as well, because it's good to check it on a variety of different phones, maybe one Android, one Apple phone, different screen sizes. Make sure that everything looks really great. If it's not optimized for mobile, it's worth you spending a little bit of time, energy, money and resources on getting somebody to do that properly for you, because it really is that important these days. Your website has to look brilliant on mobile as well as desktop and tablet. The next thing would be bad analytics and conversion tracking. So this kind of flips back a little bit to what I said in the first most important point about having the really strong call to action, and then you have to optimize towards that call to action by tracking it. Well, you should be tracking lots of other things on your website as well through GA4 stroke Google Analytics. Again, it's amazing to me that so many businesses still aren't doing this or aren't doing it properly. So, you know, there's lots of stuff that you can do in Google Analytics which gives you amazing data. So if you haven't got it set up, obviously that's terrible. You need to make sure that you have Google Analytics. It's free running. But if you have got it set up, have you set up all your conversion goals properly, including that main call to action? Are they tracking properly? Are you optimizing towards them? So every week or every month, are you looking at the number of conversions that you've got on all your conversion goals and seeing if it's gone up or down? And, you know, if it's not going up, then how are you going to get those conversions up and optimize towards it? That would be one of the main focuses of your website. That can all be done for free through Google Analytics. And then you need to know where your leads are coming from. You can use Google Analytics for that as well. So for example, one of the really useful things that I learned many years ago to do is custom channel grouping. So you have the basic default channel grouping in Google Analytics, but if you have traffic coming to your website, particularly if you're paying from it from unusual sources, you can set up a custom channel grouping so that traffic from all different channels and platforms and sources goes into the right channel sort of bucket. So you basically, in reporting, you can see which channels which platforms that you're advertising on are generating the most revenue for you. So that's a couple of things. There are a few more, but if you're not sure what I'm talking about here in the last couple of minutes with Google Analytics, if you think that you've not done it or you're sure that you've not done it, then please do reach out to me in the comments and I can help you to set this up, because it's crucially important. For free, you can have amazing data that will drive more and more revenue for your business. If you're not using that, then you are missing a massive trick, basically. So make sure you've got analytics and conversion tracking set up properly in Google Analytics for your website. Next thing would probably be no social proof or a lack of social proof if it's a bit weak. So again, going back to what I was saying about making sure that the website is for your customer and it's not just talking about you and saying how good you are. Customers need to see the previous clients and customers that you've worked with, how you've helped them. If you can put some videos on there, like customer testimonials, customer reviews, lots of Google reviews. Try and, as quickly as you can, build up 100, 200 reviews from happy customers if you have that sort of volume. Again, that's what people want to see more than ever. With AI, you have a lot of new companies starting up that just create a website in maybe a few hours using AI. It sounds great, it probably looks great, but if you've got an existing business and you've been going for a few years, the difference that you have is that, for example, you can go and quickly film your customers doing a video testimonial and put that on your website, and that can't really be replicated with AI. I mean, people could try and fake it, but if it's authentic, then it's going to give you an edge over other companies. So try and get lots of social proof, lots of testimonials, lots of reviews on your website, so that people can see that other people are saying that you're a great business and not just you. That's really, really important. And I think probably the final thing, just following on from customer testimonials and reviews, other people that you've really, really genuinely helped saying that they had a fantastic experience with you. I think the final thing would, the mistake that I see on websites is people not really explaining how their company is different or better to other companies. So the copywriting on the site, is just a little bit too generic and formulaic. So what I always look for when I work with a company and advise them on marketing and changing their website is I want people to come on your website, especially if they're potential customers, they're right in your target audience. And I want them to very, very quickly understand why they should speak to you or why they should buy your product, what makes you a little bit different. And that could be a whole number of things. But, I go on so many websites where it's a good, solid site. It's not necessarily bad, but after a few minutes, I don't have a clue, what makes you a little bit better or a little bit different from other competitors that I could purchase the same product or service from. So that would probably be my final thing, is that ask yourself the question when someone comes on the site, preferably within about 60 seconds, well, do they understand what just differentiates you a little bit from all of your competitors and all the other people that they could buy that product or service from? I think that's really important. If you implement that and have a look at the other mistakes that I've covered and make sure that you're not making those mistakes on your website, I think you'll find that your website will perform better. You'll probably get more leads. You'll probably find that, if you look at your website traffic and the number of people that are purchasing, the conversion rate, or submitting an inquiry coming into your CRM, your email marketing system, probably increases just by fixing those 5 or 6 common website mistakes that I see all the time. So I hope that's been helpful. If you'd like any more information, if you've got any questions, or you'd just like to provide some feedback or input on what I've covered, please do leave a comment. I'll reply to every single one. If you want to reach out to me, there are links below to my website. Please do get in touch. If you'd like me to have a look at your website, I'll quickly do a 5-10 minute audit of your site for free, give you some specific feedback. If you'd like any more information at all, any questions, just let me know. I'm here to help. I hope that's been helpful. Bye for now.